beautiful ladies. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you are joining live, hello. And if you are joining as a replay, could I just ask you to put hashtag replay in the comments below so I can see who is having a look afterwards and how many people that is getting out to and reaching. So thank you. Hope you guys are having a lovely day. I can't believe it's come to the end of the week already. Wanted to come on and talk to you today about the biggest mistake that you are making with your mum. As you've probably seen from the posts that I've put up this week, the theme at the moment is working around toxic parents, which will culminate in the masterclass that I've got on Monday for toxic parents. There's also a link on the page already if you are interested. But today the chat is going to be around this biggest mistake that you are making with your mum. So for me, my toxic relationship with my mum started when I was a teenager. It then ran all the way through, and she can still have snippets now here and there, which obviously are not very enjoyable, but things are much better. We have a decent relationship now, and there are certain things that she knows not to cross the line with, that she knows not to voice. So the current one is her feelings on the COVID vaccine for my children. But although made her point known how she felt about it by saying, I'm not going to speak to you about the children having the jab, which of course was her way of saying, but I want them to. So I still know how she feels, but she now knows not to do some of those things to me that she would have done previously. I think one of the greatest examples was telling me when I was in my 30s that she didn't think it was appropriate that I was getting kittens. Really? Anyway, so this biggest mistake that I made with my mum was constantly fighting to get her attention and get her approval for things. So when I was young, the mantra of my younger life was, don't think we'll be proud no matter what you do, which is basically, it's not about you being happy. If you do what we want you to do, then actually we will be proud of you. But if you do what you want to do and we don't like that, then we won't be. And obviously when I was young, I didn't realise how damaging that was or how difficult that was. But as I got older, and I remember voicing this at work one day, and it never really occurred to me it was a terrible thing to say. And literally all of the people around me just went, and I suddenly thought, actually, that's really awful. Like, I'd never say that to my kids. Obviously, you know, I want my kids to do well, but I do ultimately want them to be happy. And if they've taken a pathway which they're not going to get happiness from, then change it, change the direction, change what you're doing. But if you are constantly seeking your mum's approval, even now, it's not healthy for you to continue to do that. Partially because if your mum is like my mum, actually getting her approval is very difficult. And also it stops you from asking yourself the question, is this what I want to do? Is this what will make me happy? You know, there have been times where I've dreaded telling my parents something. Sometimes they've surprised me and sometimes they haven't. So a few years ago now, it must be about 20 years ago, I decided that I was going to jack my job in that I had. I wasn't happy there and that I was going to go and work for a retailer, a high profile retailer. My God, did I hate that job. And after about a year, I sort of said to Mum, I think I'm going to have to leave. I think I'm going to have to leave this job. It's making me really miserable. I really don't want to do it anymore. And actually, she really surprised me by saying, I cannot believe that you've been doing this job you hate for a year. Yes, absolutely, do it. So sometimes they can surprise you. Sometimes things come out and you think, why can't you be like that all the time? Although sometimes when they're a bit topsy-turvy, it can be almost as confusing as if they were just straightforward about it and were horrible all the time. That's a bit harsh. My mum's not horrible. She just has some behaviours about her which I don't particularly like. But the day I decided, in fact, it was kitten day, that I decided, I don't need your approval for anything I'm doing. I'm in my 30s. I have a child. I have kind of two children at that point because Matt and I were together. And as a result, obviously, Sky, my stepdaughter, came as part of that package, which is the lovely part. So I had two children, had a partner, had my own home. If I want to get kittens, I'm going to bloody get kittens. And that was when it really hit me. I do not need your approval. I do not need you to tell me what I should do and what I shouldn't do. Particularly if I haven't even asked you what your thoughts are. Generally, I don't often ask my mum what her thoughts are on a specific subject because she'll absolutely tell me, but then I feel like there's some expectation there for me to follow it. Like I can't just get the information and decide from there. It's like, I'll do what you want me to do. So if you are still putting expectations in place for your mum's approval, stop it. Stop it now, because she may or may not approve, but it shouldn't be the thing that governs your life. It shouldn't be the thing that governs your decisions. If you want to know, fine, but equally make sure she's aware that you are just taking it as information, that you are taking it as a consideration, that is not what you're going to do. But stop trying to get your mum's approval for everything. She might not be in a position to give it. I mean, obviously, to be fair, this is going to be the same for dads as well. So if you are looking for your dad's approval, stop it. You're not going to get what you want out of it. You're not going to get at any point, oh my God, that's amazing, darling. Well done. I am so proud of you. If that's not something he does already, you're not going to be able to change him. All you can do is change your response to it. Change how you are dealing with it in terms of your mindset. I say to all of my clients, one of the commitments I want them to understand is you take ownership and responsibility, and you can't change other people. Changing other people is not possible. If your parents aren't already the people who tell you how proud they are of you, it's unlikely to start now. So do really try to consider that actually, if you are aware that you want your parents to approve of something, that's not the be all and end all. And if they don't, and you're an adult, so what? So what if they don't approve? Do what makes you happy. Do what moves you forward, and don't still be governed by your parents. Now, if toxic parents is a big thing for you, sorry, I'm not going to talk about this for much longer, I promise, then do sign up to my course. There's an ad in the group already, so just click on the link, fill in your details, and I'll make sure that you've got everything you need for Monday. I would love to see some of you there. And very exciting! So I put out a poll to say, what is it you would like me to talk about next? What would you like me to deal with? And depression and anxiety, living with depression and anxiety came out as the top one. So I'm doing a freebie masterclass in a couple of weeks. So look out for the ads on that. That one won't be a paid one. That will be a freebie that gives you a bit more of a taster of what it's like to do a group session with me, and what you can take away from that. So look out for those ads as well. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're excited to hear about that. And let me know if you want to share about your parents and their expectations of you, and if you feel that actually you can stop considering what your parents want you to do and just think about what makes you happy and what it is that you want out of that. So if you are just joining me live, ever so sorry, I'm just about to go, but do watch the replay. It'll be up in a few minutes. It just needs to kind of buffer, and then it allows me to put it up. So do look out for that. Lots of love to you guys, and have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care.